What's happening, everybody? So I almost got this thing gutted. By the way, the people who reminded me that Soylent was a thing, thank you. I've been drinking that, and I love it. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I finished gutting the van, and I wanted to make a quick video about some things I found that might be wrong, that I thought might help some people either looking for a new van, who are about to start building a van, or who have another van that's already built, and they just probably should check these things so that they are fixed before they become a real problem. But first, I am not going to be using this, I think it's a 500 watt pure sine wave inverter, and these are actually pretty expensive. These are really nice. And this little Renogy PWM solar controller anymore. So I thought I would give them away to a patron in about a week, give or take. So if you are a patron, man, this light is freaking out. Look at this thing. Huh. It stops right when I point the camera at it. So, Patreon is only $1 a month. You can see videos early and win things like that. So check that out. So, yeah, it's pretty much all gutted. I still need to take this out, but I really didn't find too much wrong. But these seals up here, can you see how it's flat? It's flat. It's not supposed to be flat. It's supposed to be round. And that could really, that's when I drive, I can hear a ton of wind noise. No water leaks in yet, but it could eventually. So those have got to be replaced. The next thing, this door is not closing or opening the way it should. It's, you gotta really try. And check this out, it's not lined up at all. It's like horribly lined up. The reason for that is these pins here, the bushings are worn out. On the bottom, there's that big pin, and then there's a bushing down here, and on the bottom they're worn out. Plus, this for whatever reason, GM just tack welds these brackets onto the door and the body of the van, and it's starting to split right here. So I actually need to have this welded back on and replace these pins and bushings for this door to line up right and open and close properly. So let me show you the back real quick. Another thing I would definitely check, and if you haven't bought your van yet and you're going out to look at vans, or you just got your van and you haven't done this yet, I would definitely take it to a car wash, and maybe you can have somebody inside of it while it's being washed in the back to look for leaks. Super important, because leaks cause big issues in the future. So this seal right here is totally shot, man. And unfortunately, with Astros, they no longer make these seals. Look at this one, just gone, just totally gone. It can help a lot to clean them up. You know, I just used a little bit of dish soap and warm water and a rag, and I cleaned them really well. And then I got some, it's just silicone lubricant, and put it on there, and it helps kind of puff them out a little bit. This one's really flat. This one's really bad. And it also made them kind of sticky, so they sealed much better once I did that. Now, the next thing I found on this fan is, look at that. That looks like a water leak. So, what I did, other way, is I took the cover off of this heater core right here, and it was totally dry inside, didn't look like it had any remnants of water, and I actually replaced this thing recently, so I've determined it wasn't for that. But if you look around a little bit, oh, there it was. See that? See that right? Right there. That is air. That is daylight, man. And where there is daylight, water can come in. So what happens is the rain comes down like this and shoots right down in there. So this setup here, behind, come on guy, focus. This camera's been having some funny focus issues lately. Back behind here where my finger is, where you can't really see because my camera's being goofy there, a little bit. It's just foam. So I've been putting sealant around there, and that has helped. In the past, obviously the sealant broke loose, or I didn't do it good enough last time, so water's getting in there. So the solution is either take off these two hoses and take the heater core out, which will get coolant everywhere, and replace that that foam piece, or just get some high temp sealant on there and seal it up real quick using just a finger and gloves or something. That's probably the route I'll take. It's a lot easier. Does the same job. So yeah, checking seals. Wind noise is very fatiguing when you drive, and eventually water could get in. It also kind of if you have really bad seals, then all that money you just spent on insulation and all that hard work you just did to insulate your van is completely void, because if air can just come right in, then what's the point of insulation, right? So next thing is outside seals. These guys, if these are all cracked up and broken, and you can feel on the back, it's like felt on the back here, then they're just letting water straight in your door. And these doors, car doors, they're open on the inside, and then they usually have thick plastic covering it with like double-sided tape to seal it off so that this air isn't coming inside. What can happen though is like pine needles and stuff can get down in here, and these are the vents. We got one on this side too on this particular van. These can get filled up with pine needles, you know, whatever. And before you know it, you've got a little pond in here. It'll fill up with water when it rains, and it'll start getting really rusty, and your doors will rust out, and you'll have a little mold farm in there. So that is no good. So definitely check these seals, check the little guys down here, make sure that's good. Let's see, what else, man? I would definitely check the, and this is all besides like basic mechanical stuff. I would definitely check up in here. This is where the air comes in for the inside. See, I've got some pine needles sticking down. The cleaner you keep this, the less likely you're gonna get mold. Cause little thing, like what is that? That's a paint chip. That stuff can get like sucked in, and then you've got a bunch of organic material in your vents and moisture, and nice warm air when you turn your heater on, so you'll have mold before you know it. So keep these suckers cleaned out. Even get like just a, you know, if you can remove this piece and stick a vacuum in there or something, clean it out. Definitely a good thing. And these are all things like if you find that these things are wrong when you go to check out a vehicle, you can definitely like talk them down with that. Say, hey man, it needs all new door seals. It's like $500 to replace these. You know, can you take a couple hundred off this thing or something? You know, the inside, I would definitely, if you can, lift up the carpet in the back and on the side here, anywhere where there's a door or a window. Try to lift up the carpet just a little bit. See if it's all rusted out. See if it looks like there's been water there. Because if there's been water there, there was a leak at one time. And if there was a leak and they didn't fix it, there's still a leak, obviously. And lifting up the carpet up here, especially on the passenger side. The heater core is almost always on the passenger side for whatever reason. So looking on the floor in this area under the carpet is definitely a good idea. Two other things I would definitely check is the windshield seals up here. These tend to leak, and this one's actually a little loose on the outside. These tend to leak up here, and this windshield needs to be replaced anyway, and that's rock hard. It's supposed to be kinda soft, but these are rock. I'm surprised that these don't leak. Definitely check these out. Another thing, if you got a roof rack, come up here and just grab the roof rack and try to wiggle it and see see how this one kind of moves right here. You see that? If these are loose, and you can tighten them up, you know, up here, and on the Astro van, they have oh, where are they? I guess they're back here somewhere. Hopefully you can see. It's pretty dark in here. Where are they, man? Oh, there's one. They have these guys that the roof rack's attached to, so you can tighten these up. Might have to have someone hold this one tight while you do the other one on top. Yeah, those can come loose, and if those are super loose or rusted out, you're gonna have water coming in. No good, no bueno. And another thing on this van, and this is why it's so important to just take this stuff apart when you get it, so you can just do everything all at once. This guy is all rusted out. Look at that, just rust. So before I put all this stuff back together, I gotta take this off and clean it out and paint it with some rust-proof paint. Front area looks really good though. So I'm gonna get a carpet cleaner and remove the doghouse up here. It has this carpet on it that's got rubber on the back. So I don't want to remove it. The carpet's ugly, man. It's so ugly, and this rubber's all cracked and dried and stuff. I don't want to remove it because I like having the rubber on there. It removes some of the engine noise, and this engine's pretty noisy, being like right next to you. I don't know. Maybe I will and wrap it with something else. Or maybe I'll just leave it because it sounds badass. I don't know. But, yeah, getting like all the carpet stuff out and cleaning it, getting some carpet shampoo, maybe even renting a carpet shampoo machine and just cleaning everything perfectly and starting off with like, you know, as nice of a van as possible and as clean of a van as possible. Once you get out on the road, you're really going to appreciate that. I know I always do, having a nice, clean, happy little home. So, yeah, guys, so that's pretty much it. I thought that those things might help some people, so I figured I'd throw that out there. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Love you, sir.